I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these really useful oval beads. Now I've got them on a really big tile, so that's why I've not got you zoomed in as much, but there's lots of different techniques that we can do with these. I think one's just gone rolling off. Oh, there we go. So I'll show you all the different techniques and colourways that you can do this. And this sort of links on from one of my previous videos, the one teardrop video, so I'll link that one in the description. Now one of the things that you can use these beads for is for fringe, and this is just a black and white, just a simple necklace with a pendant that I made. This is a polymer stone that I've made, so if anybody's interested on finding out how I've made that, let me know and I'll do a video. But I've used these for the fringe on the bottom of here. So that's just what I've got them for. But you could also use them as connector beads. So like say if you're doing this necklace and you've not got these crystals, you could put them in between there just to do your base chain. So there's lots of different things you can use them for. You can use them for bead embroidery, just for accents. There's just different things that you can do with them. So the world's your oyster, so to speak. So let's get to it and I'll show you how to make them. First way I'm going to show you how to make these oval beads is by using some scrap clay. I just felt a little bit thick there. And this is just basically another way how you can use up your muddy clay. This is just all your off bits that have just turned to mud really. You get this when you've been playing and you know, things have gone wrong, which is not a bad thing. You can use them for lots of other things. But what we're going to do is we're going to be colouring it. Now these are some mica powders that I got from Amazon. And there were loads of little sachets. As you can see, there's tons. I think in the UK they're about £15 when I got them, and I got these probably 3 years ago now. I've used them quite a lot and they are really nice, and the bags are very good for using. But other ones that you could use, I will try this out. I think these were eyeshadows that I got from AliExpress. These are metallic ones. So there's all different sort of shades and things. You can also use pastel chalks, if I can. I've got everything propped up around me so I can grab it to easier, but then it's all barricaded in. So you could use these, which is just basically soft pastels for doing artwork. These ones I got from, I think it was the Range, if I remember rightly, if I can get the packet out. There's 48 colours in this one, and it was $6.99. So you do get a good variety of colours in them for, you know, and then you get an extra white and a black one in the big colours, so you get all those nice colours. Just to loosen these colours off, you just need to scratch them either with a needle or your blade or something like that. But I'm just going to show you the first ones that I showed you with that are in the little bags. So now with the muddy clay, you've got to consider that whatever colour you put on the top may go darker than what you're perceiving it to, you know, what you're actually wanting. So you can always do a test part, you know, just take a little bit of your scrap clay that you've not cut out into a bead yet and just see what the colour's going to turn out like. Another good base would be white or black, so you could do a tester for each of those and see which one turns out the colour that you want best. So I'm going to try and go for something that's quite vibrant, so I'm going to go for this Jester Red, because it's probably red beads I've not got all that many of. So I've rolled out my muddy clay to a number 3 on my pasta machine, so it's fairly thin, because the thickest setting is just quite not thick enough for what I'm wanting. So I'm rolling it out to a number 3 and then pressing all the air out and folding it in half, and then that will make it thicker than just my regular thickest setting. It's not too much thicker. If you just want to use your thickest setting, that's absolutely fine. This is just what I'm doing, just so I give them a bit more body to the beads really. Now the main thing I'm going to be using is some plunger cutters, and this one's a set of 4 and I'll be using the smallest one, but you can also find other different types of cutters, like little metal ones. I think these were out of a female set when I first started claying, and then these are some ferrules, that I've just shaped into ovals. You can get them already made into shapes, but I'd already just got some regular round ones and I wanted to have a go see whether if I could shape them. So you can get different sizes from that. It's just basically squishing them down because they come in, where's the other one? So they come like this, just in a regular circle, and then you just bend them into the shape that you want. But like I say, you can buy them already done like that. If you just look on Etsy and places like that, you'll find them, and just find whatever's cheapest for you. They all work the same, it's just wherever you're buying them from. So I've got my muddy clay, and then I'm just going to take my where's my water, my cutter. I'm just going to spray some water just to dip the cutter in, just to try and help it not stick as much. But it's rather warm where I am today, so the clay's been rather sticky. So I'm just going to press down, and then with the plungers it can push it out for you. And then I'll just do one to start with. And now when we're, sorry, you can hear my dog drinking in the background, I apologise. So we're going to skewer this before we actually colour it. The reason being is so that we can colour all the way around the bead at the same time and not get colour all over our hands. So I think you're a bit thirsty there, Lola, aren't you? Right, so if you get any fuzzy edges around them, just use your finger just to smooth them out. And then I'm just taking a normal pin, or you could use your needle tool. I might just zoom in a little bit more, then you can see a bit better. And then I'm just going in from the end. You don't have to go from, I'm just going sort of straight from side to side that way. You could go that way if you wished, you could do two. So you'd have one there. You could go straight from front to back. I just like to use these going down this way. Then you can use them as sort of like connector beads in jewellery, or you can use them in bead embroidery or fringe. So there's different sizes of these that you can get, so just depending on what you're wanting to use them for. I'm mainly using these for fringe, so I've gone for the smallest one. So the way I like to do it, I like to hold the shape within both my fingers, and then I sort of just twist the pin until I can feel it coming out the other end. Like this. So you can just leave it like that. So this way that we're going to be able to put the colour on without getting it all over our hands. Now this is, I'm not actually sure what the proper name is. I saw it on a video, and a lady used them to get the excess mica powder off of a brush once she'd done cleaning. So I've got some of these. This is the first time I'm going to use it. It went really well on the video I was watching. I wish I could remember which one it was, and then I could link it. If I remember, I'll link it in the description box, because she was using mica powders and things for clay, I think, if I remember right. So I'm just taking a normal paintbrush, and then dip to tin, and just pick your pen up with your shape on, and you can just clot all the way around it. Now because this muddy clay is quite dark, it's gone to a darker red than what I was expecting, but if we were to do it in white, which I'm going to do, and show you the difference. So I'm just going to put my brush on here so then all the microphone doesn't go blowing everywhere. Right, so I'll keep this one over here. So I'm just going to try it with some white now, just for comparison. And again, I've rolled it out onto a number 3 setting, holding it over, and just punch one out. Push it out the end. And smooth all the edges off again. Okay. And then just pierce it with a needle, end to end. Now if you've been conditioning your clay for a while and your clay feels really soft when you're trying to do this, just leave it to rest You could put it on a bit of paper and it'll let the oils leach out so it doesn't, you know, yeah, it'll burn my tongue. I can't get my words out. So, right, so I've got it in with the white. Good. You can see how sticky these mats are, which is a good thing. Right, so I'm just going to take some more mica powder. That's the thing, whenever you're using these, if you get these ones, squeeze the opening back up, because I found out the hard way. I've gone and spilt it and it's gone everywhere. So just be careful. Then a little bit more, so there we go. And then just make sure you get all the way around. So say if you've not got the exact colour clay that you're wanting, you can do this and just get it so it's the same colour that you're wanting. So as you can see, the white one's a lot lighter than the scrap clay. So I'm trying to pull my light up so it's not too reflective on the mat. So as you can see, that's two different colours just using the same one. So with scrap clay, if you're going for a darker set of the colour, it's still red, it's just it's a darker version of this one. So the white one, obviously, it just shows the colour up better. So I'm going to go and make some more of these, and I'll show you what I've got done in the end, and then we'll crack on with the next lot. I forgot to show you what I'd actually got the sticky mat for. So your mat is just, I think I'm going to use it for like 3D diamond art and things like that. It's just to keep your beads or your sequins from running away. So I've just got my brush and I'm just going to rub it on here, and it gets all that excess colour off. So say if you've just got the one brush and you're changing colours, you don't have to worry about the colours getting mixed up on the brush. So you can just clean it, and then you just basically give this a wash with some soapy water, and then it comes back. But as long as you keep them in these plastic sleeves that they come in, you know, where you're fine, because they'll stay sticky for ages, because even though I've put that on there, it's still really sticky. So I just wanted to show you that for a reason why we're telling you about the sticky mat in the first place. So I just wanted to show you what I've got done with that little bit of white clay and that muddy clay that I was using. You can just see it's a total different look depending on what colour base clay you put them on. Now if you're wanting your darker beads, you can go with your muddy clay. If you're just wanting your lighter ones, you can just go with your plain white. You know, or even just experiment with different coloured clays and putting a different colour mica powder on top. You don't have to use just the mica powders that I've used in mine. You can use eyeshadows, you can use chalks, you can use pastels. There's lots of different things. As long as it's got a sort of powdery consistency, you can brush it onto your beads. The only thing with these is they're going to need glazing, because the mica powder will rub off. So if you are doing this type of them, just make sure that you glaze them afterwards, because when you're putting them into your work, you don't want the colour rubbing off and, you know, ruining all your hard work. Now another way that I wanted to use sort of like, well, I think they're eyeshadows that I've got, I can't remember where I actually got them from. I think they were AliExpress, but I think they were just classed as eyeshadows or something like that. I'm just going to make a little slab, so to speak. So I've rolled it out on my number 3 like I've done before. The way around. And then I'm just folding it up. Now I'm not making too big of a piece of this. Reason being is because once I've cut all my other shapes out, I can't roll it out and redo it like I do with any of the other skin and blends when I've done this type of beads. It will end up colouring the clay. It'll be an interesting colour whatever I decide to, you know, when it mixes it all together. But this would generally be what you can get out of this one sitting of doing them. So you need to try and work out, you know, the best way to get as many as you can out of your little piece. I just wanted to use this one. So these are the ones that I'm going to use. I'm pretty sure that they were eyeshadows and they were off AliExpress, because I haven't bought anything off Wish for a while. But as you can see, there's lots of different colours. They came with these little eyeshadow applicators, You can just use your normal brushes if you want. You don't have to use the applicators, but I just pop them in. So I'm going with the purple first because purple's always my go-to colour. And I'm just taking my brush and I'm going to work out from the cap a bit, and I'm just going to put different blobs, you know, all over it. So I don't want to put too much of the same colour on there. I'm going to mix in all the different colours and sort of just make a blend, so to speak. So I've got my purple in. If you didn't want to use your brush, you could use your finger, but then again you're going to get really colourful fingers then. You probably end up wasting a fair bit of your powder. So I'd recommend sticking with the with these ones anyway, because they really are lightweight, these eyeshadows. You can just use regular eyeshadow, so I've gone just for more of a pink. I'm just going to put a bit next to the purple, and you can overlap them because the clay will only allow so much to stick to it. So if there's any space where there's a bit of sort of tacky clay left, it'll let you sort of like blend them over, and then you get that nice blended finish to it. Now the back of your beads is going to be whatever colour the base clay that you're using. So just take into consideration that's what's going to be the back of your beads. If it doesn't bother you, then you can just leave them. Or once you've cut them out, you could turn them over and cover them with a different colour, and then you can cover the sides. I think I'll probably just leave these so they've got a different look, because I think it'd be an interesting thing having some different sort of style beads, you know, having ones that have got the back a different colour, or I've got rhinestones in when some haven't. I just like to have a different variety of things going in my work. So we shall see how this one turns out. So, but we're getting there anyway, so I'll just get a little bit more of this blue, and then I always tap it off in lids whenever I'm using something like this, because I don't want to lose any of that gorgeous colour. So, that one back, and let's go, shall we go with a, yeah, let's be daring, we'll go with a green. So, just play around, see what it is that you want to do. Well, that's definitely got a good contrast with it. Don't use very many green beads, so this might encourage me to use them more, because it's a very nice mix, these. Don't think I'd ever wear these as actual eyeshadows, but they're definitely good for clay. Right, and then we've just got a little bit more of this, so let's try and add just one more. We'll go with, let's put this little bit of gold in it, just as little highlights, I think. Reminds me a little bit of the Northern Lights. Love to see those one day. And we can just brush it over. So, really liking that. I think I'm going to get some very interesting beads from it. Now, say if you've got too much one colour in another area, just pick some of your other colour up and pop it somewhere else. And then that's it. So then all you need to do is just take your cutter, and then I'll probably just keep cutting them in rows like I've been doing. Oh, that one's stuck to it. Let's move this for a moment. Where's my blade? So I can just show you. So we've got that lovely colour on the front, and then I've got white on the sides and the back. Now, because I've got mica powder on my fingers, it's sticking to everything that's not got clay on, powder on it already. But that's what you can do. You can just leave them like that, or just have a different coloured clay underneath. So I'm going to cut as many out as I can of this blend, and then I will have them for a project. So I'll go and get these one finished, and I'll come back with the next one. I just wanted to show you the clay that was left over from doing the last set of these beads, and as you can see there's still lots of lovely colour left in these. Now I was going to just screw it up and just see what colour comes out, but I'm going to try and do what I do with other blends, try and sort of squish them back up, and then I'd have double-sided beads, you know, that have got colour on both sides. So I thought I'd press record and see whether it turns out, and then if it does, you will be seeing it. So just squishing it on. Your colours will be closer together as well doing it this way. You'll definitely get a variety in your beads. I'm just going to squish it down a little bit with the roller. As you can see, some of the white's coming through as well, so you could always pop some more colour on there. You know, if it bothered you that there were some patches. I'll pop that through. That's on a number 1, so it takes quite a bit of it out, so leave it like that and we'll get the colours back out. So I might put a little bit more of that gold on, because it's got the hints of all the other colours I put on, so let's put some gold in there. Put a bit on the back. Now I'm just going to leave these ones on the thickest setting, see what they turn out like in the end, because you don't have to work to the so it's not as pretty as the original one, but that's my personal opinion, I don't think, but see what it's like. So I'm going to put it through on the next thickest setting just to see if I can roll those cracks out just a little. Or the other thing you could do, just take a piece of plastic from something, or paper, use paper, and just see what you're doing though with the plastic. Spray it on and you can just rub those creases out, and then you don't have to worry about those cracks showing up in your work. It just take a little bit of a time for you to do it, but that's it. I apologise if you can hear kids playing in the background. It's rather hot while I'm filming, and don't want to bake, so I'm keeping the doors open until I've got some air conditioning. Right. That's got the majority of them out, and then you just have to flip it over and do the same on the other side. So if you want to do your beads this way, and then you're not just rolling it all up and just wondering what colour's going to come out of it, I might put some other colours on there once I've got all these creases out, and just get it back to looking how it was before. I mean, you could always just do this to both sides of your clay, you know, originally, if that's what you wanted. It's totally up to you, but it was just an idea I had while I was cutting all the other ones out, because I've got a nice pile over here of the original cuts coming through that's I managed to get. I've got a good 30 or 40 beads out of that one little piece so far, and then I'm going to have whatever I get out of this one. So yeah, I'm just going to add a few more of the original colours just to try and get it so that they're looking more like, but as you can see it's got a lovely metallic sheen to it. So I'm just going to go and finish that, and then I'll come back with the next lot. The next way I'm going to show you how to make these beads is just by using some coloured leaf and coloured clay. I'm just going to do small amounts of each of them, but I've got gold, silver and bronze. So I've got this rolled out on my thickest setting at the moment, but I'm going to cut it in half because I'm needing half of it to be already rolled out on the thinner setting and folded. So I'm just going to do that now. Yeah. So, and then I'm just going to fold it over. So this one's going to be the first way that I'm going to show you, and it's literally taking this piece and then putting some gold leaf on. Now, depending on whatever colour leaf you're using, is what you want as your centre. The reason I'm doing it for this is because, like when you do, oh, try and get one of the other ones. If you did it with just a plain one, you can see that you've got that white edge. This is just so that you've got like a coloured edge on the sides, or you can always paint it in some way. So I'm just going to take some gold leaf. And then pop it down. And then I'll take off the bits from the side, and I'm going to pop it straight on the other side. It's sticking to me now. And the beauty about doing it this way is when you've got your leftover bit, once you've cut out all your shapes, you can just roll it into the clay and you get a nice sparkly glitter effect. So that's just an added bonus, and then you can make some beads just from that. So not enough on that little bit there, so come on off. So when you've got a nice new piece, you can just stick it on and tear it away, but I wanted to use up some of my scrap pieces. Well, not scrap, but the smaller pieces that get left over after projects. And there we go. So it's not really going to matter if there's creases and things in it, because we're going to be cutting them out, and you'll probably not notice the little creases in them at all. But right, put back over there, and then all it is a case of doing what we've been doing already, but we're just cutting them out from this. So take them out, and then you get the solid colour leaf on either side, and then you get the nice gold edging. But because this is a duller edging, you're getting that two-tone colour effect. Now with the other one, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be covered in gold leaf for quite a while now, but never mind. Now on the other one, we're just going to add it to one side of it, but this is on the thickest setting of my pasta machine. So just pop that on, so as you can see. You never want to waste any of this. It's just too pretty. There we go. And again, like I said, you can just roll it up afterwards and you get some nice sparkly clay. So because this is on the thickest setting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to number 2, in one direction. So I'm putting the longer edging first. So we've got a little bit of a crackle going on, and then I'm going to turn it to the number 3, and I'm going to put it in the opposite direction. And then you get some more cracking going on, and then you want to flip it over so you've got the side with no leaf showing, and just fold it over like we've been doing, and then you've got a gold leaf side, but you've got one set that's got the plain gold on, and then you've got another set that's got the crackle going on. Now, like the other ones, you're going to have to glaze these in one way or another, because the gold leaf will rub off. But that don't take too long to do. You can just pop them on a string and dip them in your preferred glaze, or paint them individually. That's totally up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and make some of these in my 3 different colours, because I've only got gold, silver and bronze. But then, you know, I've got that variety. But another option is doing it with white as your base. So if you didn't want to have, you know, the sides the same colour, but you want to get a more sort of, you know, the cracks, you know, to stand out a little bit more, so a brighter sort of crack, so to speak. Then if you go for something that's lighter, so this is on my thickest setting as well. This is just some pearl white, and then let's take the rest of this one and pop it on. Never goes where I want it to this stuff. Right. And again, you can rub this into your clay as well, and you'll get another effect. So never waste any clay. There's always something that you can do with it. Just try and cover them up as best you can, you know, with any little odds and ends. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this down like I've just done with the last one, a setting at a time. So I'm going to take it down, put it back to a number 2 to start with. So I'm going to put the longer edge in first. Got some loose bits there, you can just rub those off, as you can see. And now I'm going to put the shorter edge in and take it down to the number 3. Don't went too far then. So you've got a more apparent crackle to it. I can't think of the right word at the moment, but you can see the crackle a lot more because it's got a different colour. So depending on what sort of look you're going for is what background you use, but as you can see this one's a lot lighter than what this is. But if you want to go for full gold, then just use gold clay and put gold leaf on top, or the same with silver or whatever colour leaf that you're using. So I'm going to go and do these and I'll come back. The last version I'm going to show you in this video is just a variant of one that I used on my teardrop video. If you've not seen that one, I'll put it in the link in the description box below. I've just got a little bit of a skinner blend left over, and this is currently at my thickest setting, but I'm wanting to make it into a long thin strip, so I'm just folding it on itself, and then I'm going to take it down probably a setting at a time until I've got it so you know, to a really thin strip. Now I'm going to be reorientating the colour so they're closer together, so that I can cut them out so it's got a gradient going down the bead. So got that to number 3. A bit. I think I'll just take it down one more setting. Now you don't have to do this, it's just this way you get a nice softer blend going through it. If you just folded it from the way that it was, you'll just get, you know, a sort of more, say, a stark sort of view of it. So just doing it this way you get a softer blend of it going through. So I'm just going to fan fold it, and I'm just going to just fold it really thinly, going backwards and forwards. So I'll speed this up so that you're not watching me doing the whole thing, because it's very not very neat, and it doesn't need to be. So now we're just going to basically try and get the colours so they're closer together. So squishing it this way, and we're going to make it thin and long, so when you're cutting your beads out you'll be able to get a variant from the dark blue down to the white, because the blend when I originally did it was just basically a blue and a white, and a little bits on my rolling pin there. Should give it a white first. And it's just so that I got a variant for, I think it was one of the other videos that I was doing actually, and this is just what was left over from it. And you just want to squish it so that the colours are closer together, so you can either have the top of the bead going from dark blue down to white or the other way around, so it's up to you depending on what you're wanting to do. And then as you're just making it down to the size that you want, so just keep checking it's the right one, so it's probably just got a little bit more. And then you just have to roll it out on the setting that you're wanting it for. So let's take it down to number 1. And then we've got that. And then I will take that down to the number 3, because that's what we've been doing with the other ones. Fold it over, and then it's going to be the same thickness as the other ones. You don't have to do this, it's just I'm wanting to keep them all relatively the same size. Now if you're doing larger beads then you don't need to squish your blend down to this sort of size, so it's up to you what you're actually wanting to do. And then when you've just finished with this you can just fold it over and use what's left of the blend, you know, and just squish in the gaps that's there. So you just take your cutter the same as before, just try and make sure that there's no air pockets in. I'll come off the camera now. And then it's just the same, so I'm going to take one down from near the bottom on this one. So as you can see it's got a dark blue up at the top going down to the white. Now you could try and just sort of squish it even further if it's not thin enough for you and you're wanting to get that in, because when it goes through the past machine it does make it go a little bit skewish, so to speak. But you can just have different variants of it, so you've got more of the blue in or you've got more of the white, so you can just carry on doing it like this and alternating it. And then like I said, once you've got all the way to the end of it you can just fold it back on itself, make sure you're going in the same direction, and then you can get more of that blend just out of this little bit, because then you've still got all these little bits of colour that's left that you can just squish together and roll out and make some more. So I'll go off and I'll do that. Okay, so as you can see I've been busy making beads and I've got lots, so you've zoomed out a little bit more than what I usually am. That's just so that you can see the full tray of beads. These ones are the ones that we did with the gold, copper and silver leaf, and I did each of them in the different ways. So we've got the solid sheet, so there's not many crackles in. When you're punching those ones through you will get a little bit of crackle, just not as much. And then these ones are the ones where we thinned it out and then we got that nice crackle effect to it. And then these ones are the ones that we did on the white clay, just so that you could see the colour of the leaf come through, so it was a more prominent sort of change in the colour. These ones were the Skinner blend that I basically made it go from light to dark or dark to light, whichever way that you want to string them. And these were the first ones that were, first of all I did them with the scrap clay, just so to show you that you can use mica powders just to cover it up, so it's not just wasted, or you don't have to use it for just bog standard bead filler. You can make beads of its own. But then this is the same colour that I used, but this was on white clay. So just do a tester for you know, whatever colours you're doing to see whether if it's going to be the right shade for what you're wanting. These ones were, how did we do these ones? Oh, I made the slab out of these ones. Try and get some up now so you can see. and I just cut them out. So they've just got the colour on top, and then got little bits on the sides, but I can clean those off because all of these are going to need glazing anyway, because they've got surface textures on them, so they're going to need something just to keep either the gold leaf or the mica powder on. Now these are the ones that I made with the second round of doing the slab, and I've rolled these out thinner and I've just put a hole in the top, so it's a different type of bead that I've got. Can't really see the colours all that well because of the light that I've got, but they're definitely there. They're not as prominent to these ones because I mixed up the clay a little bit more, but I've definitely got a different type of bead that I can use. And then I've just made some basic black, white pearl and some basic gold versions of these. Now there's other ways that you can make these beads. If you've watched my previous video on the teardrop beads, you can use any of the techniques that I used within that video to make beads yourself, you know, just in the shape. So this one was with translucent clay, and I put I think it was copper leaf in that one, and then I did a silver and a gold leaf. So I'll link the video in the description below for you, so you can just go and see how I've done these. And these, that's what the Skinner blend was left over from the variant ones. This one was just the blue and the white going along the Skinner blend and just punching them out, so you've got you know, like different varying tones of one colour. And some of them I put rhinestones in as well. And then these were the rainbow beads. So this was the one that I was doing a variant of when I did the blue ombre ones. So as you can see, it's just another version of that, but this one's just got more colours in it. So depending on what you're wanting to do. And then I think, yeah, these ones were just your plain coloured clay. So watch that video if you've not already watched it, and that will just give you some extra ideas on what you can do for these beads. Any of these techniques you can use for any of the shades that we're going to do. I have got some more videos planned that I'm going to hopefully try and figure out some different ways that we can actually use them, so you can mix and match the techniques between the different shapes of beads that you're making. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I've got a Facebook group if you would like to join it, called Becca's Crafty Crafters. It's just for people to be able to show me what, their work, or if they need any questions answering, I can answer it a little bit better on there. Or if you just want to see my work, I'll post things on there as well. So if you're on Facebook, feel free to come along and join my little group. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, you could give me a thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, if you consider subscribing, that'd be appreciated too. So thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye.